Well, it's 3 a.m. and I got a notification on my phone the dryer stopped. Yeah, that'll do it. Pile of corn on the discharge tube. I think I might just shut it down and go back to bed. Hello and welcome to the Stover Farm channel. I'm so glad to have you here with me on Hubbard Harvest 2024. I did not get much sleep last night. I got that notification right around 3 a.m. The dryer had shut down. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful morning. I figured I'd just walk down here and see what I needed to clean up. I didn't really do anything other than shut the dryer down. And if you're new to this series, what we're doing is actually trying to realistically farm the massive 16x Hubbard, Nebraska map by Texar Gaming. We've got over 1,000 acres. It's October, it's fall, and I'm trying to do this as realistically as possible given, the parameters of the game. So that means long months, long days, realistic acreage. We've got, over probably 1,400, 1,500 acres. As I get through this harvest, I may actually increase that slightly. We've got 2 combines out, and we've almost gone through a little over 2/3 of the fields. And last night, a pretty common failure for an old dryer. It started spitting corn out everywhere. It's not too bad. Maybe a couple hundred bushels at the most. This might be, 150 bushels. I'm not the cleanest when it comes to actually getting corn off the truck into the hopper there. So I'm not too worried about it, but we definitely need to get it cleaned up. And I'm probably going to make a call into Prairie State and get someone out here to service this. So it's down. That's okay. We're still cutting beans. And fortunately, a really uneventful harvest. No major breakdowns. No, catastrophes. No injuries. Really, really blessed that nothing has gone awry. The weather's been great too. When I got into October, I looked on the forecast. It was calling for a lot of rain. We've gotten very, very lucky. Really, the only thing that has been worse than normal is our fuel consumption, going through tons and tons of diesel. Got to get this Meridian tanker filled back up and head out to the fields where I've left the combines. And we'll jump into the map here real fast and show you how things are playing out. I've actually gone into the map, and if you've been following this series, I got rid of all the farms that I owned. I literally bought the entire map because I was adding a train line, adding all sorts of things. And we know in Farm Sim, well, you've got to own the land if you're going to put things on it. That was messing up my statistics, though, of total acres harvested versus total acres owned. So I've got it down to the bare minimum. The areas in blue way over here on the east side of the map, though, I still have to own those because I've got items on them. Train yards, a drag strip, the town. The farm, my farm, the Stover Farm, is right up here in the upper northwest corner of the map, and this represents approximately 1,500 acres of this beautiful, beautiful Hubbard 16X map. And you probably are saying, wait, that can't be 1,600 acres. What type of map is this? Well, this is a 16 times map. So this field right here that I'm working on, I've actually got a combine sitting on right now, field number 11. That's 58 hectares. That's 154 acres right there. That's soybeans. That's our final soybean field. We just finished up fields 31 and 30. 31, that was a big guy too, over 200 acres. That was soybeans. On field 30, that was all corn, 100 acres. I've got the smaller combine right now up here on field 2, and this was a kind of an experiment from Meg. She wanted to plant some sunflowers. We got 40 acres of sunflowers being cut right now. And once we get done with field 11, it's going to be all corn from here on out. So I really do need to get that dryer working. And first things first, let's get out to these combines. Let's get them refueled. Let's get them going. About the time I get fuel in them, Meg will probably be ready. We can get her in one of them. I can get Maggie in the other one. And then I've got to show you something that we're doing to help a neighbor that's going to help us out in the process. Something definitely not working right with the old CK2500. Trans is slipping like crazy. It's got miles on it. You know, this has been a service truck for many, many years. We bought it used. Odometer doesn't even work. It's got a old TBI 454 in it, and I think a TH400 transmission. We are way up north, almost near field number 1. This is field number 2, and the sunflowers have done really, really well. Just about a 40-acre plot. Meg wanted to plant some sunflowers, and hey, I was absolutely fine with it. The old 9860, it's got the small 608C head on it, and it's absolutely necessary for this ground. This ground is so hilly that anything wider than this, you just get absolutely stuck. Now, as I've been running these fields and hiring help harvesting, I have not been using the real speed option. So it's a little more realistic. They're, 3 miles an hour right there, which takes some time, but also gives me a little more time to work on other chores that I've got going on. Go-Go Juice topped off on this one as well. Meg is done with chores and said she's going to head on out. This is a 9870 that I've got the big flex head on the front of it. This is absolutely necessary for these fields. You can see the terrain that we're having to deal with. Without this flex head, actually harvesting these fields is almost impossible. With too rigid of a head, you're just missing so much crop. And there she goes, again, running at the accurate speed, the correct speed when I'm hiring help to work on the fields. When I do it, when I'm in the cab, I'm going to run it likely with the real speed limit turned on because, again, I would go crazy just sitting behind the screen for hours on hours. Update on the dryer. It's been a few hours now. Prairie State's been out, great tech looking at it, and it was basically, this is an old system. So it's like one of those halvesy systems where it's got a little bit of computer control to it, but it's mostly just, analog, like propane and heat. Apparently one of the circuit boards had just completely melted. It did not shut the thing down in time. So it was just spitting wet corn out. Finally, after the auger just completely came to a halt, tripped the breaker, shut everything down, that's when I got the notification on my phone. So I'm just going to let it sit the way it is right now. We're going to let Prairie State come back out, go ahead and fix that board, probably get us back up and running. because we're absolutely going to need it. And with Maggie and Meg out in the combines, everything's going great there. It's like, what do I do now? Well, I've got a little project going on, and that's I'm helping one of our neighbors. It's what you do in a farm community, in a small town. You help your friends, family, and your neighbors. And old Jim Hickok, he's got a fairly, well, it's a smaller farm just over the hill from us. And he used to harvest all sorts of crops, but he's just got a couple of cows now and about 40 acres of wheat that we helped him plant last year. He's way too old to be out in the field, so we've got a deal. I will use his equipment. I will go ahead and cut his wheat for him. We'll give him the grain, but I get to use the straw because I need the straw for bedding. And this old Jim Hickok's place, he's been here forever. Unfortunately, just doesn't have any family left that wants to take on the farm. That's really, really sad, so we're trying to help him out absolutely as much as possible. He's got a few animals still here. Very small bin right back there. We're going to store this grain in that for him. But we've got to get through this pasture, and you'll see about 40 acres of wheat that we already started cutting. I got this old axial flow case. I think it's a early 90s combine. Does fortunately have a little bit of GPS control on it, so I want to drop this down. I want to make sure I've got my straw swath enabled because I absolutely need straw. This is going to be bedding for the animals. Let's hope it works. And there we go. All in all, just an absolutely picture-perfect harvest so far, 2024 in Hubbard, Nebraska. And this is just a little update on how we're doing. Again, trying to do this as realistic as possible, given the parameters of the game. We've got well over 1,000 acres to work with, and we're helping the neighbors when they're in need. Primarily corn, soybeans, and a little bit of sunflowers. Thanks for checking out this update. We'll see you next time right here on the farm with the Stovers.